Hey guys, Craig, Krakenworks 3D. Hey guys, come in close. Valentine's Day. It's right around the corner. Let me help you design, slice, and print a heart-shaped box to improve your magnetism towards your sweetheart. It's a gift from the heart of a heart-shaped box. Let's get started on this heart-shaped box, shall we? So we're going to start out by doing a square that is 75 millimeters by 75 millimeters. Drag that down here. And we'll do a circle. And we'll start the circle in the center point of one of the sides of the square. And we'll make it 75 millimeters in diameter. And we'll go ahead and trim this up real quick. And then we're going to do another circle on a second center point. There we go. And it will also be 75 millimeters. Trim this up. And you can already see we've got a heart. Now, I don't want it completely square, so we're going to take this 12.5 millimeters fillet for that corner and for this corner both. Okay, so now we've got a decent little heart shape. Now we're going to do some offsets. And the offsets that I've calculated are going to be the equivalent of a wall thickness, basically, or intervals of a wall thickness. So I'm going to offset this negative 10.5 millimeters for the first offset, and I will do another offset of 5.46 millimeters. Except I need that to be a negative 5.46 millimeters, so we can just double click on that dimension and revise it. Now from here, I need to make a couple construction lines. I'm going to go from the center point of the innermost fillet on the top and bottom of the heart. But it needs to be 4.40 millimeters by 45 degrees for the top of the heart, and for the bottom of the heart, find that center point, and it also needs to be 4.40 millimeters, 135 degrees. Just get that dimension out of the way. Turn the construction line off. Now I need to put a circle right here. And this is going to be the diameter of my magnets, which my particular magnets measure about 6 millimeters, 6.2 millimeters. I have embedded them in other projects, and 6.4 millimeters works very well for the magnets that I have. So I will make the sketch for the holes for the magnets at 6.4 millimeters. Now I need to offset that circle by 1.2. And I need to offset the other circle by 1.2 as well. Now I need to do a little trimming. And I need to add a fillet to this corner of 1 millimeter is exactly what I wanted for both of those corners. And then I need to go up here to this one, and I need to do the same kind of trimming. And I need to fillet these corners. They should also be 1 millimeter. And I need to do an offset of this profile, and it needs to go out 0.42. For the purposes of the walls, I need to offset just the fillet here, 5.04. And I need to do that again, 5.46. I need to go down here and do this outer fillet also. At both 5.04 and 5.46. Negative on this one because they're going to the inside of that fillet. That concludes the sketch. So there's the completed sketch. Now it's time that we start extruding. And we're going to start with the exterior wall, which will include the outermost profile, the tolerance between the magnet cutout eventually, and the magnet housing and the magnet cutout. All those profiles. And we will extrude them by 40 millimeters. And then we'll have to turn our sketch back on. And temporarily, I am going to turn off the body. For this extrusion, I need to include the inner wall plus the magnet cutout, as well as what will be the tolerance area between the lid and the bottom. And this is going to have an offset of 35. An offset of 35 with an extrusion of 5 millimeters. And we're going to join that to the previous. Okay. And we're going to turn that off, and that's just so we can see what we're doing here. The next extrusion will include the inner wall plus magnetic, the cutout for the magnet, as well as the area around the magnet. This will make a lot more sense here real soon when we can see all the extrusion. I'm going to offset that by 40. It will also get a 5mm extrusion. Turn the bodies back on. And I want it to join, hit OK. There we go. So that will be the inner lip that fits inside the lid after we get the lid modeled. We have a couple more things to do for the bottom though. Obviously we can see that the bottom of the box is still open. Well, I want to leave that open just momentarily so we can do our next operation, which we're going to include a chamfer on that profile there of 5.46. That way, when it's printing, that won't be a 90-degree overhang. It'll be a 45. We won't need any supports inside there. So that takes care of that. So now our final extrusion for the bottom is going to be the inner wall, the tolerance, no, not that, zoom in a little more here. And it's just going to be 4mm. Turn the body back on, join. Oh, we got to add the bottom too. All done, join. And there is essentially the bottom of the box. Let me turn the sketch off, and there it is. We'll do a little more cleanup. We'll do some fillets on the inside so it's easier to get things out. But essentially, there's the bottom. So now it's time to start modeling the top. And we're just going to use that same sketch. So I'm going to turn that body off. Now we're ready to model the top of the box. We're going to start by extruding the outer portion only. And it's going to be offset by 40. And then we're going to extrude it 5mm. And next, we will extrude the entire inner and outer walls. Just click on these, make sure you get everything clicked. And then it is going to be offset by 45mm. And it is also going to be, well, it's not going to be 5, it's going to be 6. Just because I want the box to be a specific height. Okay, there we go. And now we need to do one more extrusion so we can finish off the top. And basically, we need to extrude all profiles. Oops. So we have them all selected. Zoom out so we can see this. And it is going to be offset by 51 millimeters. And we're going to go 4 millimeters thickness for the top. All right, so there's the top complete. The only thing left, let's rename these. The one that I have turned on right now is the top, so we'll rename it top. And then we'll click on the other body that I currently have invisible, and we'll name it bottom. Okay, let's turn it on and see the whole thing. There we go. Let's turn the sketch off. So here's our box. Let's make it so we can see the inside of the box without having to turn off anything. So we'll go to Inspect, Section Analysis. We're going to select that plane right there. We're going to flip it so we're looking at it from this side, and we're also going to turn it by 45 degrees. And you'll see why I want to do that here in just a minute when we do our holes for our magnets. We'll park that right there in the middle. All right, let's do a little bit of cleanup and just make things look a little nicer. To do that, we're going to start with a chamfer. We'll start off by turning off the bottom. And we'll just select this bottom edge, and we'll toggle the bottom off and toggle the top off and the bottom back on. And we'll select the seam right there. Go ahead and turn that back on so we can see this work when we do it. And we're going to chamfer those by 0.8. And that gives us a nice little reveal between the top and the bottom. And we're also going to add a chamfer to the top and bottom of the box entirely. And for that, we're going to go with a 3 millimeter chamfer. And because this is a 45 degree chamfer, we shouldn't have any problem whenever we print. So this model should be optimized for printing. Okay, next, let's add a couple of fillets just so that when you reach in to get something out of the box, or if you set the lid down beside the box and put stuff in it, it's easier to grab things out of the box, slide it up the side, whatever, if you have a fillet in those corners. So I'm going to put a 5 millimeter fillet in those corners, just round them off so it's easier to slide items up and out. And while we're at doing a fillet, let's fillet this and this profile. We'll go with a 3 millimeter fillet. And that just smooths it out, so while you're trying to drag stuff up and out of there, it doesn't get caught in those corners. And then we're going to do one more bit of filleting just to make it easier to get the lid on and off. Or not filleting, I'm sorry. We're going to do a little bit more chamfering make it easier to get the lid on and off. I'm going to start off with the bottom. Then we'll toggle back to the top. And this is going to be a 0.6 millimeter chamfer. Let's turn the bottom back on so we can see it. And that just kind of cleans it up a little bit, makes it a little easier to get that box to slide down on there if it's not a square corner. Okay, we only have one thing left to do. And to do that, it's easiest to turn off the section analysis. We need to turn on that original sketch. We need to hide the top. We're going to create a sketch on this inner lip right here. And all we need to do for the sketch is project that 6.4, or both of the 6.4 millimeter circles that we created earlier from the previous sketch to this sketch. And then we're ready to extrude. So let's finish this sketch. And we're going to extrude that circle and that circle, offset by -0.6. And we're going to go -3.4. Now the magnets that I have are actually about 1.5 millimeters thick, but I double them up on those just so there's a little more attraction between them so they hold on a little better. So let's complete that extrusion. And you won't be able to see it because it's a cut. Let's turn the bottom off, turn the top back on, and turn my number 2 sketch on. We need to extrude the circles again, but this time we're on the top. And we don't need to go negative because it's already telling us we're going upwards, or in an upward direction. So from here, we need to do an offset of 0.6. Let's try it again, 0.6. And it's going to be 3.4 millimeters. And it will be a cut. So let's turn our sketch off. Turn the bottom back on. And let's go back to this view here. Oops, wrong one. Let's go to this view. We will turn our section analysis back on. Let's edit the section analysis a little bit so we can drag that out. There we go, there's the center. So if we zoom in now, here's our cutouts for our magnets, and we will set it up to pause so we can insert those magnets, and we'll have a nice little encapsulated magnet. You won't even know it's got magnets in it until you go to put it together. Let's turn that section analysis off. Zoom out a little bit so we can see this. We can turn the top off. There's the bottom. Turn the bottom off. There's the top. So we've got a completed model. We'll get this saved and exported. And pull it in the slicer and get it sliced for printing. We'll get this box drug into Orca Slicer. And we need to flip the lid over. And I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to keep it towards the front of the build plate. And I'm going to rotate the bottom a little bit. Pull it in closer. And towards the front. Because after we slice this, we're going to have to add some pauses so we can embed those magnets. I don't think I need to change any of my presets that I have. I don't need supports. I've already got it set to the right printer and the right AMS slot. Let's go ahead and slice this. And then we're going to have to go down through the layers so we can get to the lid. We right-click there, add pause. Insert pause command before the beginning of this layer. Okay, so we need to move up one layer where it starts covering, and we'll insert a pause. And then we're going to scroll on up. And here's where you can see the chamfer that we put underneath the lip. Okay, right there, we need to add a pause. So we can put those other magnets in, and then we have to reslice. I will reslice, but I'm going to add the smooth time lapse to this. I cannot move the, oh, I know why. Okay. So there's our little box. That's actually not too bad. A little over 3 hours. So I will get this sent over to the printer and get it printing. is a fancy little purple heart. Pop the lid off and show you the inside. Here's where the magnets are embedded. That was the top. Here's the bottom. Once again with the magnets embedded. And doubling up the magnets makes it tough enough that while it's empty anyway, you can pick it up by the lid. You can hear it rattle, but it doesn't fall off. So you can keep keys, keepsakes, jewelry, you know, whatever kind of keepsakes, fancy stuff, whatever. Your sweetheart would just love this. And I've shown you how to design it, how to slice it, how to put magnets in it, and how to print it with magnets in it. Yeah, all the stuff. So, if you like the video, hit the like and subscribe buttons if you don't mind. If you want to see me make something else, leave me a comment down below. Yeah, that's all I got. If you've got any comments, concerns, or suggestions, just leave them down there in the comment section. If you enjoy the content, please consider liking and maybe subscribing over here. I think you might like this video over here. Thanks for watching.